I don't think I shared this part of my story. The same summer that I walked away from my mom, and I started a channel and started trying to do everything solo. My parents had already agreed to. I'd already been doing homeschool for a year. My parents had already agreed to paying our mortgage, so they were doing that, and I have the other house bills that I cover. I remember my mom lost one of the jobs that she had, and she called my dad over. She would always call these family meetings. She called my dad over while we were over there one day. And I remember in that conversation, could never remember things verbatim, but like there was something that she was talking about at that point, trying to potentially move, because she was like, I can't afford my house anymore. Like, it was always like it had to be some like dramatic thing. She didn't end up moving for like over a year, but anyway, and she was calling my dad because she needed money, and she didn't. And then of course my dad was like, let me know what you need help with. But in that same conversation, she said something about me. Oh gosh, I guess I remember something about me essentially being the damsel in distress, like needing having to have their support. Like, it was something about my like incompetency, and I wish I could remember, because it doesn't give a very good argument when I can't remember how it went out. But I remember I questioned her, and I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, at one point you were, and and it was real like aggressive. And to this day, I'm like, I don't know what story, what specific instance gave her that notion, and then like brought my dad in on it and was like, this girl's helpless and it's our job to, I don't know. And I know there were some things I shared with my mom about like vulnerabilities or things that I struggled with, and I was always somewhat defensive with my family because I didn't feel safe with them. I didn't feel like that level of safety with them, and I started going to therapy at one point because of my relationship, living with my mom with my kid there, and she knew that. Like, and I had a couple of, I can only remember one time, no, more than once. I can think of at least 2 times that I like lost my shit, like with anger, and like one time like I threw this thing on the ground. That's a separate story. There was a whole lead up to that moment, but there were some of those moments where I got aggressive, got angry, real angry, because you grow, like, anyway, it's wild, like all this stuff, because it's all in the family. It's like they treat you as one way when you're at home, but then when you're out, it's a whole other thing. Like my mom would, I'm just gonna give this at really quick. It's like my mom would act like she was on my side and like supportive of like everything with autism and my kids' behaviors and stuff, because he has his moments now. He has his things like stimming, making a lot of noise, but he can be really adorable and bubbly and laughing and playful and stuff too. And then he does have aggression now. It comes out once in a while. He'll take it out on me or whatever. He just has a hard time with it. But he used to be like way more ADHD and have a lot more. He had some like defiance and stuff too. And so my mom would act like she was like on my side about stuff. But then it was like one time my brother and his girlfriend were over, and she kept apologizing for Teddy like splashing them in the pool or something. He wasn't even doing anything bad. And I was like, I don't remember what I said, but it was just stuff like that where it was like, it was always just a show. And so backtrack to that meeting with that meeting was like month before I ended up walking away. Because then after that, my mom started plotting on what living situation she was gonna shift into, and that's when she came up with the idea of getting a plot of land, putting a house on it, and putting a trailer on it where I would live, me and Teddy would live. And she came up with this cute idea of like he could just run across the road and she would take care of him so I could work and all this, because that's been the central issue since the beginning. Well, not since the beginning, because I did have a job for a while, and I could bring Teddy sometimes, and they did help me some. But that's been the central issue, is that I don't have money to pay a babysitter, and I don't have anyone to keep him so I can work, and I don't trust them now. I would not leave them in their hands, period. But at one point I didn't feel that way. But that's not the only thing. It's just like that's obviously the main thing that's causing a debt and etc. So I wanted to, I know there was a connection with this. So then that happened, and then my mom came up with the idea, and I immediately told her no, I shut it down. She brought it up again, and I shut it down. And I made the mistake. A part of me wanted to see how she was going to react, but I made the mistake of saying the things that I wanted to do. I was like, I want to have a doll. I want to have an Ann pet. Like, I want to potentially us get an RV. And she came up with all these paperwork and reasons why that wasn't going to work. And I'd already dealt with this, because she would have all of the ideas I had for jobs. She came up with some kind of like why that wasn't going to work. And then I walked away, and I remember one of the first times I talked to my dad when he called me, I don't know how many months later it was, and he was like, "Are you on drugs?" And I was like, this is from the man who has been an alcoholic since I've ever known him, like all of his life. Well, not all of his life, but I don't know how long, but since I've known him. And I was like, no, like I don't remember, again, that all of that was even like 2 years, that was like, it was like end of 2023. Like, the timelines kind of are hard to keep up with, but now I've had that reflection on like like people have shown up and like asking me that on my channel and stuff. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And it is what it is, because it's like, because I'm like, I so much of this has just been so wild, and I wish I had. Until the last like month, I just didn't have the mental capacity. I didn't have the strength and the energy, and there were so many days of depression and pain and like just all kinds of stuff that I was moving through, that it was like I didn't have the capacity to face the fact that like right now, like there's potentially this tie between the way that I am with my body and fitness still, and being OCD about doing movements throughout the day, and like that having some kind of tie with like our financial situation, or that it's just something that I can see now that God wants me to like heal, essentially, because like I don't really understand why I still have this either. And this thing about like drugs, or people just being so cruel on like to me and projecting. And I did drugs. I really didn't do that much, not that much. Okay, I'm letting this drag out now. I smoked weed a lot in college. Not even a lot, because like I like being productive. Like that's what's so weird to me about some of this, and I'm trying to like trust and listen and learn how to rest more, and like trying to learn my body, trying to be more intuitive, trying to just keep my mind calm, I think is the biggest thing, whatever is going on, because I still have no plan on how I'm going to get the money that we need to make up. But my plan B is that we're going to have to live out of my car, because I'm not able to feed this kid, much less start paying off debt or save anything for something. Anyways, there was a point to that, me sharing that. Maybe it's just all tests. I don't understand why these are ones that I'm having to go through. because my family, what I'm thinking is that maybe my family has been saying that because they think that whole like you're crazy thing, you get that thrown at you, and so maybe they think that I'm on drugs. I was caught my mom snooping around her house. I thought that was a joke. I thought that was like, no way people really do that, and I was like, yeah, they do, because they think that they really do think that someone's helping you, and so they're trying to like catch you in the act or something. I don't know. Like, it's just so crazy. And I'm like, I don't really care. And I definitely don't like, want to take the time to focus on that kind of stuff, because I just want to get the F out of here. It's so evil. It's just like, the fact that I chose to live so simply, and I'm good on whatever God wants. So I want to heal. Like, I didn't realize how much I've just adapted, and I haven't seen like doing these movements or exercise and my eating, because I see the correlation now with like the way I get restricted with eating. It gives me a sense of control, and that's the only control that I feel like I have in my life right now. So I'm still holding on to that, because it's giving to have that control in my life. Makes me feel like I don't know how to explain it, because it's a false sense of it's a falsity, but there's a codependency there. And so I see how why God is asking me to heal this, but it's like, it is hard, because then you're like, it kind of is like, gives you this, it either gives me brain fog if I'm tired, or it gives me this like, I fall into like this, illusion of everything's okay. And then when when I let that go, or I'm just trying to stay calm or whatever, then I'm facing all the things that suck, like having to listen, which I love my child, but having to listen to the noises all the time, or we don't have money for stuff, or facing that, like, I don't have a plan for how financially things are going to work out. And, I'm trying to figure out this dance thing, and I can't even like focus my energy. I mean, I'm trying to get there, but like the focus for me is not there, because I'm like I keep disassociating or something. I'm like, I don't know exactly. It's like, I feel peaceful and calm. I don't know why people don't want to work with me, or what about my energy is off-putting or intimidating or uninviting. I don't know. Because that's not what I want for the rest of my life. I want to be happy. I want to have a financial security and people in my life again, and a job that I'm making money and that I enjoy, and that I can, it's weird, because it's not that I don't want to show up and serve, but it's like, it has shifted to where I'm like, okay, I want my needs to be met first, because my cup isn't full now. And then I want to pour again. All right. I guess we just have to completely ignore all the smearing, because it's like, no one is here except God and my kid, but my kid's he's not reporting. He might be reporting some things that I don't know about, but that's a separate thing. But like, he's not observing how I'm living and what I'm doing. So it blows my mind that that's something that's coming up for me, because I'm like, I don't even have money for drugs, and I don't know, I guess because authenticity, just people don't know how to take it, and so they just come up with crazy ideas. All right, I'm gonna stop there, y'all. I love you. Take care of yourselves.